There's a lot we don't know about ancient Egypt. For over 2,000 years, their empire flourished, and it all began more than 5,000 years ago. They built pyramids, temples, monuments, and they covered them in writing. Thousands upon thousands of inscriptions. But by the time of the Romans, that language was already slipping away. The last hieroglyph carved was in 394 AD. After that, the knowledge of how to read them disappeared. Why? Because languages change. Everyday Egyptians stopped using hieroglyphs. They started to write in Demotic, then in Greek, and then in Coptic. Over time, the memory of what these symbols meant slowly faded. Fast forward more than 1,000 years, by 1750, the world could admire Egypt's monuments but not understand them. The hieroglyphs were beautiful, intricate, mysterious, but silent. However, this was the Age of Enlightenment, a time when Europe was obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the ancient world. Greece, Rome, the Bible, these were their obsessions. Egypt was different. It was older, stranger, and almost completely unreadable. For 1,000 years, travellers had brought back stories, sketches, even fragments of statues. Imagine finding an ancient Egyptian temple, touching the huge stone walls, and staring at thousands of intricate carvings. These glyphs on the wall, you know they carry meaning, but you have no way to read them. It must be like finding an ancient library where every book is locked shut. So the question was, could anyone bring that language back to life? And who would be the first to find the key? In 1798, Napoleon invaded Egypt, but he didn't come with soldiers alone. He brought an army of scholars, linguists, artists, engineers, all determined to study Egypt's past. And a year later, one of his soldiers stumbled across something unexpected, half buried in the sand. Not gold, not jewels, but a slab of black stone covered in 3 scripts. This was the Rosetta Stone, and it would change the course of history. It contained the same text written 3 times, once in ancient Greek, once in Demotic, and once in hieroglyphs. Suddenly, scholars had something they'd never had before, a bridge between the known world of Greek and the unknown world of Egyptian. But the stone didn't give up its secrets easily. Some thought hieroglyphs were purely symbolic, a kind of elaborate art form. Others believed they were an alphabet, letter for letter. One of the first real breakthroughs came in 1814 from an English polymath named Thomas Young. He recognized that the oval shapes, cartouches, contained the names of pharaohs. By comparing them to the Greek version, he identified sounds for some hieroglyphs. It was progress, but it wasn't the whole picture. Then came Jean-François Champollion. In the 1820s, he saw what others had missed. Hieroglyphs could be phonetic, representing sounds, and symbolic, representing ideas, often in the very same sentence. When Champollion realized this, the code broke open. Piece by piece, the silent symbols began to speak. The hieroglyphs told stories no one had heard in over a millennium. There were prayers to gods, carved into temple walls, asking for protection, rain, and safe passage into the afterlife. There were tax records, bureaucratic lists of grain deliveries and cattle counts, reminding us that ancient Egypt wasn't just pyramids, it was also agriculture, paperwork, and politics. There was love poetry, full of longing and metaphor, proving that romance transcends the history of human civilization as we know it. We could even see how they recorded victories and defeats in war. The Rosetta Stone was more than an archaeological find. It was a cultural time machine. By unlocking the language, we unlocked a culture. It was no longer just the Egypt that we imagined from the outside, but it was the Egypt that the Egyptians themselves described. And that's why learning a language today is still so powerful. It's not just memorizing vocabulary or grammar, it's learning how people think, how they joke, how they express love or disagreement. It's picking up on those idioms that simply don't translate. And whether it's ancient hieroglyphs, Esperanto, or Japanese, learning a language expands your world, and you never know what doors it might open.